Anti-Muslim rhetoric has reached the U.S. presidential campaign, with one candidate calling for a ban on Muslims entering the United States. Some Muslim Americans say Islamophobia has now become a part of politics and is infiltrating other sectors of society. CCTV Sean Callebs has insight.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
This from the acknowledged Republican frontrunner in the race to be the next president of the United States. The party that gave the U.S. Abraham Lincoln, Ronald Reagan, and Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Sadly, I think that Islamophobia has now sort of become an entrenched and accepted form of racism in America today. I think that you can always take a pot shot at Muslims, Arabs, South Asians, and really get away with it with impunity.
Since Islamic terrorists brought down the World Trade Center towers in New York City,
no, not at all.
Arsalan Iftikhar has been front and center, arguably the best-known Muslim face, trying to allay concerns among Americans and convince them not all who worship Islam are bad people.
Well, I have far too many white hairs for a 38-year-old guy, I can tell you that much.
In the aftermath of the brutal attack in Paris, then again in the suspected terrorist attack in San Bernardino, California.
What we try to tell people is that groups like ISIS are about as Islamic as the Ku Klux Klan is Christian. Sadly, there is literally no demographic group on the face of the earth today that is placed with more collective guilt for the acts of a fringe than Muslims around the world.
He's developed a thick skin over the years. You need to in his line of work, where power brokers like Donald Trump pander to a demographic pledging to force Muslims in the U.S. to undergo a special registration and carry special identification.
I wonder if that's going to be similar to the yellow stars of David that many Jewish people had to wear in Nazi Germany. Would it be a yellow crescent moon this time?
Iftikhar approaches life in a thoughtful, thought-provoking way. Look closely, and you will notice he always wears something pink or pastel, saying it makes a tall Muslim man look anything but threatening.
I want to, sort of jar their preconceived notions of what it means to be a Muslim man. I'm a clean-shaven dude. I don't have an accent of any sort because I was born and raised in the Midwest.
But there are always bumps in the road, some larger than others.
I'm joined now by Arsalan Iftikhar.
Like the time CNN's Don Lemon was questioning Iftikhar in January after the attacks on Charlie Hebdo in Paris.
Do you support ISIS?
Wait, did you just ask if I support ISIS? Don, I just answered your question. So just think about it this way. Don Lemon asked a Muslim human rights lawyer if he supported an organization which violates human rights every day. It's the moral equivalent of asking a white guy, do you support the Ku Klux Klan? It was the dumbest, most tone-deaf, racist question that he could have asked.
Many, like Iftikhar, think the issue of Muslims in America will get worse before it gets better. Remember this?
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
Perhaps unconstitutional, probably unenforceable. But consider this. A recent poll shows that nearly 2/3 of likely Republican voters support Trump's idea. Sean Callebs, CCTV in Washington.